actually, start the year strong, and of course, um, setting goals for 2026. As a matter of fact, goals that we set, it's more than just setting a goal. It's about setting an intention for what we want to have going into the new year, right? And I'll tell you this for free, right? You know, every single person starts a new year with an intention to be better. But most people, if you ask them how was your year this year compared to last year, they'll tell you that nothing much changed. And that's because they weren't intentional on making those changes. They say they want to change, but I'll tell you this year has been absolutely incredible, right? Me and Katrina, we we look back at this year and we say there's so many blessings that has come. This is probably the best year we've had ever, actually, because this is the year that great things happened, and great things are still happening. It's not over yet, right? There's still more things to happen. We've still got 2 weeks left of the year. There's still more things that can happen. There's still more blessings that can actually flow, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, and I'm sure you're all grateful for this year, regardless of how you think it's gone in terms of money wise or business wise or friendship wise or your own personal life. Just remember that just the fact that we're here and the fact that we're alive and the fact that we are on this earth and we have another chance to make it happen, that is the biggest privilege that we should even, before we even talk about anything else, you should be just grateful that we're here, okay? Because that is, I'm very honored to even be on this earth, to be able to be one of God's foot soldiers, sharing this good news of success and salvation, as it were, right? So I'm excited to be on this call, and I don't count it as a right. I count it as a privilege to be able to share some interesting concepts with you that will hopefully really, if you apply it, you could actually have a phenomenal week, and of course moving into 2026. So, I wanted to touch on a couple of things. First and foremost is, I was very blessed to have, one of the highlights of 2026 and 2025. Looking back at this year, there's many highlights, many highlights that me and my wife can say we've had this year. One of the highlights that I would say I had was being able to go to an event where I had the chance to rub shoulders with somebody that I've been following for at least since the pandemic, since 2020. A lot of creators, a lot of entrepreneurs came to the forefront, because remember, back in 2020 we were all at home, and we had a lot of time to be on our phones, a lot of time to think, and 2020 birthed a lot of success stories, and me and my wife are amongst those people that would say during that pandemic, even though it was a sad period, of course, and it was a very, very tumultuous period in human history, we took the initiative and we decided to build something whilst the world was paused. We decided to continue to build because we knew that actually the more successful we became, the more we could actually help people through that dark time. And so life is all about perspective. I really believe that life is all about perspective, and how you take that perspective and how you apply that perspective is going to determine how your life turns out. And so I had the chance to rub shoulders with somebody, and this gentleman is, a very, very powerful speaker, a very powerful thought leader, and really did shift my mindset, in a massive way. I've been studying a lot of new books because of his influence, such as Outwitting the Devil, such as The Way of the Superior Man, which I'm studying right now, which is one of the most interesting books I've ever read in my life. It's so powerful, and I would suggest men and women to study that book. And I'm going to get my wife to read it too, because it is actually a book that both men and women should read, because it will actually show you guys the perspective of the masculine and the feminine, right? So all these different books, that she said, yes, you will read it. You'll start today. Many books, right? I've been studying, even like the Richest Man in Babylon, and a lot of these books that I've studying is a gentleman called 19 Keys, and he actually came to London for an event. And shout out to Monique, she actually was the person that hooked me up with the opportunity to go to the event. The title books, The Way of the Superior Man and Outwitting the Devil. Okay, so one of the things that he touched on was identity, right? And I want you guys to understand this, right? And all of us on this call, we're all here to thrive and be our best self. But how can we be our best self if we actually don't know who we are? And that is a very, very powerful thing, because identity creates reality. Okay? A gentleman called Jim Rohn, who is one of the biggest speakers of all time. He was one of the biggest coaches. He actually mentored Tony Robbins, right? Who is now, I would say, the number one business coach in the world, right? Tony Robbins is just, Tony Robbins has mentored Bill Clinton. He's mentored Serena Williams. He's mentored the greatest people that's ever lived. And Jim Rohn was the person that mentored Tony Robbins back in the 90s. And Jim Rohn passed away in 2009. And God rest his soul. But Jim Rohn always said that you are who you become, right? So if you want to become someone, you're not getting paid for your work. You're getting paid for who you are being while you work. So you're not getting paid for your work. You are paid for who you are being while you work. Because a lot of people are talking about, Derrick, I cannot wait to become a millionaire. Well, here's the reality of it. It's not about, looking at the end destination. Now, of course, one of my mentors, David Emanitier, he always said to me, begin with the end in mind. And I always took that literally. Every single day, I do begin with the end in mind. I do look at, my driveway, and I see a Bugatti sitting there. I look at, our home, and I look at, a 10-bedroom mansion. Of course, I begin with the end in mind. Every morning when we wake up, we pray, we set our intentions for the day, and I've embraced a lot of other practices like fasting, which is massively important, like not just prayer, but intentional praying and actually just staying silent. A gentleman called Brian Tracy, who's one of the world's best ever sales trainers, he dropped a video on Instagram that I listened to yesterday, and he said, if any of you have a problem in life, okay, any problem that you have, no matter how big the problem is, if you spend 30 to 60 minutes sitting in silence and just contemplating the situation without any distractions, you sit in silence for 30 to 60 minutes. Most people cannot do that, right? And we was in church yesterday, and I was saying to my wife, I'm not afraid of my own thoughts. I used to be, but I can sit in silence for half an hour and be confronted by my ex-demons, by the things that scare me, because success is a spiritual practice. It's not, you will be confronted by the things that there's certain things that over the years, I know I needed to do, but I put it off for many, many years, just to be honest, just to be transparent. And those things had to be dealt with. There were certain things that I went through in my childhood. There's certain things that I went through in my life that I had to address. And we can't paint over the cracks, because over time, the cracks will still appear. So we have to deal with those things. And sitting in silence is a massive, massive part. And that's all part of becoming. Who are we becoming every single day? Who are we deciding to become? Who are we deciding to be? Because success isn't who you are, working. It's who you're becoming. Who are you becoming? What process are you going through to become the person that will have enough value to be able to attract the results that you're looking for? Okay, so write this down. You are paid for who you are being or who you are becoming. You are in the process of becoming, because everyone talks about the end destination. Now, I do believe in beginning with the end in mind, but I also believe in enjoying the process of becoming the person that is a billionaire or a multi-millionaire. Okay? Because the process is more important, because as you're going through your journey, as you're going through your process, yes, you have to begin with the end in mind, because you have to have a goal for where you're going. You have to have a desire for where you're going. Okay? But as you know where you're going, now we have a process where we're working through the process. And every single day, we're deciding to work through this process and become successful. We're deciding to work through this process, and, it's the journey. Okay? Now, do I believe life is a journey? It is considered a journey, but I believe life is a process, because you have to work through certain things. Life is a journey could mean anything. That could mean that you could live an average life for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years and then die an unknown person. My biggest fear is dying an unknown man. That's my biggest fear. I have no other fear in life but dying an unknown man, because I know that, my son and my family, my wife and all my kids that I will have in the future, they need to know, and they need to know the power of their father and their mother. So when they go on and they take over the family businesses, they're going to have a complete understanding in the principles that I'm teaching them. Right? And I'm very intentional, even from now, teaching my son certain principles. He may not even understand, right? But I'm drilling things into his brain that he will be able to take over in the future. Okay? So the process of becoming, and there's a joy. I've got a plant right here, right? I've had this plant for like 4 or 5 years, right? And I remember when the plant was tiny, and today the plant is growing. This is the process of becoming. This plant has grown with me. It's listened to all my conversations. It's still alive, which means that I'm a pretty good plant dad, right? But this is an example of life. We all are in the process of becoming something, and you must enjoy that process. A lot of people, they quit on their journey. And I was on a call with a gentleman yesterday who is a documented multi-millionaire, one of the best leaders in the world right now, and someone that I'm so proud of and someone that I'm so grateful to be reconnected to. And he was talking about, just people quit too soon, and the goal is, can we lock in for another 6 months, for another 90 days? Because some of you on this call, you might not maybe have been getting the results financially that you maybe were told you were going to get, or that you thought you were going to get. And some of you might be thinking about quitting. You might be thinking about throwing in the towel and saying, you know what, maybe I'll just go back to what I was doing before. But I want to ask you a question. If you go back to what you were doing before, the goal that you had when you joined this company, do you think your going back to what you were doing before is going to get you to where you want to go? And that's the reason why I decided to grow through the pain. Okay? I've seen, right, a whole process of my son being born. I've seen the process of my wife going through so many changes. And if you're a man on this call and you've seen your significant other or your wife give birth, it's not a joke. Because I saw, I have no idea how painful it was or how much changes she went through. That's a whole nother ball game. But, as we're moving through life, there are going to be pains that we have to grow, because you could, figuratively speaking, we're pregnant with our goals, right? And that pain is going to birth our future, right? That, out of that pain is a beautiful blessing. And I want you guys to understand, anyone on this call right now, if you're hanging on by a thread, and you're thinking to yourself, is it even worth me continuing? It is worth you continuing, because every single person in this industry who is successful, we just didn't quit. Anyone can give you a whole bunch of motivation and all these tips and 5 tips of success and 10 tips of success and all these incredible things. It sounds amazing, and I understand. I was on the call with Bells yesterday, and I'm looking at a gentleman who I have known for 10 years. We came up together. One time we drove 2 hours, or drove an hour to Zayn's house to watch the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight. We're talking in the car about how we're going to change our lives and how we're going to live an incredible lifestyle. We traveled to Vegas together in 2018. We had no money in our bank account. All we had was vision. That is the process of becoming. But some of you will never experience that because you're thinking about quitting already. Why? I understand you might think it's tough, but let me tell you the reality. You have to know who you are. That's why I was saying identity creates reality. Because when you know exactly who you are, when you know exactly what you're going for, you're going to continue in the journey. So you might look up to a mentor, you might look up to a coach, but just remember that person is someone that just didn't quit. Every director is an executive that just didn't quit. Simple as that. Every 100,000 a month earner is someone that decided just to go one more day. I was listening to an audio from someone called Ed Milet about a year ago. David sent me an audio. He put it into the group chats and he said, study this audio. And I listened to it, and Ed Milet was talking about his journey, and Ed Milet now is worth about $400-500 million, right? And he was talking about the power of one more. If you're thinking about going to bed and you've prospected, you've done your daily DMOs, right? Everyone should have a DMO. How many people a day are you speaking to? I would say at least 5 to 10 people a day. You should be prospecting every single day. New people, starting conversations, reach out to people, okay? Don't be that person that you're expecting everyone to reach out to you. That's not how it works. That you will have to reach out to people. That's just normal. You will have to reach out on DMs and say, hey, how you doing? How are you doing? I love your page. I love what you're doing. Tell me more about what you do. Would you be interested in finding out how to diversify your income while spending 1 to 2 hours a day? Would you be interested in learning how to utilize your smartphone and turn it into an ATM machine? You've got to be able to understand that. That's part of a DMO. But if your goal is to DM 10 people a day, why not do one more? Because that one more could actually make you the serious money, right? That one more DM could change your entire life. That one more DM could open up a whole situation for you to be financially free. That one more. You're in the gym and you do 10 reps. One more. It's always, Arnold Schwarzenegger said this. He was a Mr. Olympia. I think he won Mr. Olympia so many times. He was like a Mr. Universe. You all know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. He said that it's not about the 10th rep. The rep that, when you're in the gym and you're doing the reps and it's easy, that's not what builds muscle. What builds muscle is the last one when you are about to pass out. And and then you finish it. That is the rep that makes champions. So as you're moving through your journey, stay positive, and you've got to stay connected to your mentors. If you know how amazing, right, the mentors that are in this community, right, they are here for your benefit. They're here to help you. Reach out to Katrina, reach out to Sylvia, reach out to Bianca, reach out to the leaders, because these individuals have the results. They understand how to build this business. They've done it at a very, very, very high level, right? They are extremely skilled. I learn from Katrina every day, right? She's skilled. She's extremely skilled in this industry. So if you're thinking about, is it working for me? Ask yourself, am I communicating with the person that has the results that I need? She has the results, right? She has the clear, documented results. You want to listen to her because she understands what she's talking. She knows what she's talking about, and that's part of the process of becoming. Okay. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is aligning yourself. The very important thing is for us to have clarity. I spoke firstly about your identity. Who are you? Set some clear goals about where you're going in life. Who are you deciding to become? Now we're going to talk about making a decision to be aligned. People delay their results by overthinking, waiting to feel ready, and asking for more information instead of direction. You have to move before you feel ready. Just move. Make a decision that it's time. Make a choice that it's time to win. Make a choice that it's time to succeed. It's time for you to become a winner. Think about this, guys, right? It's very important to be aligned. To be aligned with yourself, to be aligned spiritually, to be aligned with your true self. And one of the ways where you can become aligned, and when you feel aligned with your goal, when you feel at one with yourself, you're going to realize how much easier it is. Because as much as I say, we do tell people, hey, listen, building this business, there's going to be challenges. But when you feel aligned, it's not actually as hard as you may think it's going to be. Because when you're aligned, it's not like you're struggling to build it. You're actually building it from a state of joy and a state of peace. Because time is your friend when you know that it's already done. When you know that your goal has already happened before it's happened, and all you're waiting is for the back office to catch up, that's when you're going to truly be in your alignment. When you feel aligned, this is where you feel this sense of joy, this sense of peace. And when you feel that sense of peace, and you feel there's nothing happening in your life that's taking you off track, and you're eliminating the distractions. I believe we're living in a world where we have so many distractions. There's so many distractions that could prevent you from actually accomplishing your goals. But if you actually understand the importance of making a decision to be aligned, alignment is a force. When you feel aligned, you feel like this is powerful. Like, how many of us in the chat can put a 7 in the chat and say, how many of you have felt super aligned? Like, you wake up in the morning and you place a trade, it hits take profit. You prospect someone on the same day, they join the business on the same day. You go to the gym and it's perfect. You have a good workout. You have healthy food for the day. Then you get a phone call about some good news. And then, you accomplish all your goals for the day. You get miracle money coming through. You get miracle phone calls coming through. All these things are, it's a real thing. It's actually a real thing. You can actually get to the point where you are having supernatural things happening to you. But you have to be aligned. You have to be aligned with your goal. And one of the alignment principles is, who are you around? This is one of the biggest principles that I always talk about, probably more than most things. I talk about, who are you around? Who are you spending time with? This is going to determine who you become. I'm telling you guys, this is so crucial. One of my friends, Danny Balogun, who is one of the VPs in Gifu, right? He's a multi-millionaire. And we're having a conversation on Instagram. As a matter of fact, I was already thinking about just kind of cleansing, doing like a cleanse, whatever. And then I saw he posted on his story, I'm doing a fast for 72 hours. Who's in? Who's doing it with me? And I thought about it. I was like, 3-day fast, no food, just water. Sheesh. I was in the gym. That's a long time. 3 days, man. Like 72 hours. That's a long time. I was like, is it really going to work? Because fasting is not a joke, right? We like the thing for me that was the hardest part was when I'm going to bed. That is the toughest. When you're hungry, going to bed, like that is tough. But because of my association, because a lot of my friends, they fast and they're all fit, they're in the gym, I was like, I'm doing it. Because of my association, because of who I spend time with, because of who I talk to. That's a frequency. But if you talk to some other people, fasting, I ain't fasting. No, for what? I love food. But that's the frequency of the common person. That's what they want us to say. Because when you actually fast, your body is breaking down all the glucose and all of the toxins. And if you're overeating every single day and you're eating 8-9 meals a day, your body doesn't have time to reset. And so I done that 3-day fast, and I'm telling you, ask my wife, I was even till today, I'm still tapped. And she was like, oh, you're going to lose your muscles. Because I got muscles now. And I said to her, babe, I'm not going to lose my muscles. I want to get more definition. Because I'm losing all the fat, all the chub, all the rolls that I had, not rolls, but fasting is, guys, try it, do a 24-hour fast. I promise you will feel different. Do a 2-day fast. It's one of the most powerful things, because it actually got me realigned, and you actually find out, you get him, because she was scared, because she was like, oh, I know when you fast, you get pissed off quickly. When you fast, you get angry. And it's true. When I'm hungry and tired, don't talk to me, because I get a bit snappy. But I said to her, because I had intentionally set to do it, and I know the principles of it, I was locked in. I was running with my son. I was wrestling with him, because me and my son, we have this thing. We have fights every day. We have about 3 or 4 fights a day. And if we have like 4 fights a day, he will win 3. I will win 1. But you see, when I was fasting, we had 5 fights in one day. He won all 5 fights. Because he knew I was fasting. He was like, yeah, he was throwing me around. He was headbutting me, and it's fine. I let him win. But the point is, because of my association, because of who I was around, I'm always listening to the right people. And I'm aligned with certain people. Like even when I'm around, and I'm not I'm not gonna talk to you because you're not. No, I'm just saying, when you're around people that are doing better than you, and when you're around people that are actually on a higher level of frequency, it gets to the point where it forces you to be better. It forces you, and it keeps you accountable. So guys, I want to challenge you. Look at all the people in your network that you talk to, and look at the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? And what you do is this. You guys, write it down now if you can. Write down the 5 people who you spend the most time with, who you speak the most with, who you communicate the most with, and write down all of their incomes, their yearly incomes. Write down their yearly incomes, what they make per year, total, what they make per year. Write down the 5 people, whether it's your mom, whether it's your sibling, whoever it is. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Write down next to their name how much they make per year. Divide it by 5, and you're gonna roughly get your own yearly income. It's scary, but it works. It's called the law of averages. So you write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Write down how much they make per year, per annum, and you divide it by 5, and you will actually find out the number that you see is roughly how much you make per year. Because it's a principle that people just talk about it, and it's so overly spoken about, people forget how true it is. Because everyone talks about it. Oh yeah, you are, and you spend time around right people. But it's deeper than just being around people that are wealthy. But it's about being around people who are further ahead than you are, and it keeps you hungry. It keeps you wanting to win. If you're the biggest person in the room, if you're the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Because now you think, like, I don't mind getting compliments from people, but I know I haven't arrived yet. Oh, Derrick, you're so amazing. I'm like, thank you. I'm not going to say I'm not, but there's so much more we're going to do. We haven't even started yet. We haven't even, there's so much out there, guys. This world is so amazing. Like, don't let anyone tell you, oh, life is short. No, it's not short. Life is long. Life is prosperous. Life is a blessing. It's only short if you're, here's my perspective on when people say that. Life is short. You would never see a successful person say that. It's not short. How is life short? I've lived 31 years and so much has happened in 31 years. I mean, and I've got another 50 years left, 60 years left. I'm fired up. I'm gonna live until I'm at least 95, for sure. That's why I'm fasting every day, because I'm like, you know what? I gotta live until I'm 95. I got a lot of work to do. But think about it, guys. How is life short? People say these things and it sounds so cool because no, that's not true. How is life short? Okay, people can pass away earlier than they expected, but for the most part, the fact that we're all on this earth and we've been living for decades and God has kept us and He's given us a beautiful life is, the reason why people say time goes fast. Oh, 2025 went fast. I don't think it did. I don't believe the years go fast. I believe when you look back, it goes fast. But as you're going through it, because my every day is intentional. You see, when you live life unintentionally, and this is why I say the average people say, oh, 2025 went so fast. It didn't go fast. So much happened. I can only speak for me, right? But we have lived, it's been an incredible year. So much has happened. So many people we've met, so many new connections, money, opportunities, businesses, challenges, right? Launching, events. What? I don't think it's gone fast. I think it's gone as it needed to go. It's because every day I have a to-do list. Every day I'm working towards something beautiful. Every day I'm grateful. So I believe, because most people in the world, let's say majority of people in the world, are actually not happy with their life. They go to a job that they hate. They work with people they don't like. They buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't like. They live life gossiping, backbiting, angry, pissed off at everybody else because they feel like this person's the reason why I'm not successful. Victim mentality. And then they say, well, I haven't got enough money to buy this. Why has this person got this and I haven't got this? And all this bitter mentality. And then they say, oh, I cannot wait until the weekend. So guess this is the secret. They start work on Monday. They cannot wait. They're counting down the hours. The life that God has given you, you're counting down the hours, wishing for the day to go fast. That's why people say the time is going fast. I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. Listen, it's 10 o'clock right now. I'm going to do some work. I've got another great day of work. I'm setting up websites, setting up ads. I got calls. I'm ready. I'm fired up. Then I'm gonna go get my son from nursery and spend time with him. What? That's gonna be incredible. That's literally the day. I've got another 12 hours of joy, of absolute joy. It might seem like it's going fast, but yeah, time flies when you're having fun. But what I'm saying is, if you're intentional about every minute of the day, you're not going to be worrying about time going fast. I want time to go slow because I want to enjoy my life. Okay? I want to enjoy every second. That's why gratitude is so important, because if you're not grateful, you're always looking for the next thing. And you're not being, there's a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about being in the stillness of now, being grateful for now, right now. Are you grateful for right now? Forget about, yes, you're thinking about what's going to happen next year, great. But just be grateful now in the moment, just to be here. And, that's why, when I'm with my family, I've got better at this over the years. If I'm with my family and I'm spending time, I try my best not to be on my phone. Unless I'm like in the middle of something important, but I try to be like, present, because I can do that after I finish time with the family. But when I was younger, I was like, no. But, I've realized you've got to be in the moment now, because if you're never in the moment, you're going to miss the moment. And that's where people lack gratitude. And that's why people say time goes so fast. Oh, where is the time gone? Because you weren't intentional about your time. You weren't intentional about every day. I've got a to-do list of things I'm doing today. I've already worked out, gone to the supermarket, showered, done my prayers, done my affirmations, right? All before 10 o'clock. Done the morning motivation call, about to go do some more work, and I'm ready for the day. You've got to understand, guys, time is going to go with or without you. You have to manage time, manage your priorities. And here's the thing about time is you have to grab time by the neck. You can't let time get away with getting away. You have to manage every second of the day, right? And listen, I even schedule, like John C. Maxwell, there's a book called Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell. In that book, he talks about managing priorities. And he says in the book that winners, they work hard, but they also have time to rest. Now, I used to say that, team no sleep. That is the biggest bunch of nonsense I've ever heard. It is the most unintelligent, rubbish conversation ever. Oh, I don't sleep, I work all night. Listen, I'm not saying, there are some days where I do work into the night, but I believe sleep is as important as work. Because if you're not well rested, you're going to be angry, black rings under your eyes. Because I used to be very reactional. I used to react to life, and that's where I started to lose momentum, and I was angry. And then I'm frustrated because I'm always trying to run after this. But when you're in control of your time, schedule. I'm going to go to bed this time. I'm going to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours. Because when you sleep enough, you now have time to be more productive. Get work done during the time when work's supposed to be done. Right? If you're getting 3 hours sleep a night, 2 hours sleep a night, whatever, I might, listen, there's a few days in the month I will work up until 4 or 5 a.m. Yes. But even then, I will make sure I get my sleep back. And because I used to be like, you just don't sleep, man. Work all day. Listen, I'm not saying there are moments where you do that. But I believe you should schedule rest. Schedule. So John C. Maxwell calls it scheduling white space in the calendar. It means if you have 8 meetings in the day, right? You're working from 8 to 8, 12 hours, 16 hours, 15 hours, 14 hours. Great. But schedule some white space in the calendar. Schedule some space where you can watch a movie or listen to some music or go for a walk or rest, so you can actually be more productive once you're done. Because if you're working the whole time, that's where you get frustrated, because now you're drifting away. Spend time to rejuvenate and then come back again, and that's where you have more clarity. These are the principles that I've learned from the greatest minds in the world, and this is where you become successful, because you're aligned. When you're aligned with yourself, when you're aligned with your true self, when you know exactly where you're going and you have the right friends around you. And another thing is your diet. Now I'm no doctor, but ask my wife, especially my wife and Ubani, they'll tell you the best. I've been hammering them about food. Like, this is what you should eat, you know. And I listen, I'm not saying I had some cupcakes the other day. Listen, give me some grace, okay? But I'm saying for the most part, I'm understanding the importance of your diet. You know, did you guys know, right? It's funny how the world works, because the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, these elite families, I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Instagram, and the way that the families, those elite families, even the royal family, go to the royal family and ask them, what do you cook for the family? They have certain criterias: no gluten, very few carbohydrates, you know, lean meat, grass-fed beef, blah, 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 pasteurized eggs. And you might say, well, if they're rich, they can afford it. Forget about that. But just think about food connected to how you think. Because if you ever think about why people get brain fog, you get brain fog because you're eating crap. You're eating fried processed. And listen, I've been through it. There's times this year where I just had pure processed food for a whole week, just chips. And listen, I hold my hands up, right? But I realized, you know what? If I swap that for the superfoods that the winners, what do the winners eat? Because success is not just about hard work. It's about actually the all-round perspective of humanity. So not just the work, but also the fitness level, also, you know, your diet, also your relationships. And so that's why, you know, you have some, you know, people that I've never seen a billionaire that is super out of shape, because they just have a certain diet. They have people that look after them and say, listen, you've got to be a certain way because you are an example to the world. And so there are so many things being aligned, okay? You know, another principle that I learned from 19 Keys, and write this down, guys, and research this. Guys, this right here is one of the most powerful things I've learned all year. It's called deep work. So the way it works is, when you start working during the day, like right now, for example, after this call, we're going to go do some work. I'm going to get into some deep work, right? Deep work is where you basically sit down and you start working. You've got a task of things to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But the first 10, 15 minutes of you starting work, I'm going to be transparent. I get distracted. I'm going to be on Instagram, looking around, and then like the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'm like, no, I've got work to do. You know? I send my wife some reels, because we have this group chat. I send my wife the reels. I send Sylvia some reels. I'm like, oh, guys, look. But then I'm like, okay, let me go. work. But after, like, as I was saying about Brian Tracy said, if you spend 30 to 60 minutes in silence, after that period, around 25 or 30 minutes into that silence, you have a flow where things just flow out of you. It's called flow state. This is now a level of consciousness in your brain. And this leads me on to my third point, which is faith plus execution is momentum. When you actually have deep work, so deep work is basically where it's either you're in silence or you're working in a very, like, I would suggest when you go to work, you know, go to like a hotel, a nice hotel, go to a nice bar and work from there, because you actually you're around a nice environment, you're around, you know, floor to ceiling windows, you're around affluent individuals, and you get a chance to network. And when you go there, dress up. Like I'm wearing this today. I'm wearing a blazer and some nice jeans and my Alexander McQueen's. When I step into that hotel, they're gonna know us. Oh, this guy's an important person. Make sure you wear some cologne. You know, you walk there. Hello, good morning. Can I have a cup of tea, please? Can I have a bottle? You know, because you're sitting down and you start your work, right? When you start your deep work, the first 25, 30 minutes, you're just getting into the flow. As you actually lock in, after the first half an hour, you start entering into a deep consciousness. This is where you start flowing and you start doing stuff. Put a one in the chat if you've been there before, if you know what I'm talking about. Where after a certain amount of time, you're now flowing. Like trading, for example, like You're in some trades. You're looking at the chart. You're drawing up the lines. Boom. Fair value gap there. Boom. Support resistance there. Boom. Banking level there. Right. Oh, there's a, gold is the institutional bank levels right there. Boom. Sell from there. Boom. £200, £300, £1,000. Boom, 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 boom. Make a withdrawal. Boom. There you go. Bob's your uncle. Sam's your aunt. Boom. All done. Just like that. And then you get a phone call. Hey, excuse me. Hello, Lucy. It's Derrick. It's John. I would like to join your business. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let me connect you with my mentor, Derrick Alexander, right? Get on a call with Derrick Alexander. Boom. Derrick's on the phone. Derrick closes the deal, right? Or get on the phone with Katrina. Kat closes the deal. Boom. Sign him up. He's launched. He's in the business. He's trading tomorrow. He's making money. You're flowing. You're doing your affirmations as you're working. You're listening to some positive music. You're locked in. You're locked in with your true self. You're locked in with your higher self. All the distractions that you would have had before, you don't even want them anymore, right? You don't even want it no more because you're so locked in on what you're so locked in on your vision. You're so locked in on your goals. That's called flow state. But you only get into that state if you're intentional about it, right? When you get into deep work and you spend, there's a book called The 4-Hour Work Week. Now, I don't believe in the 4 hour. I don't believe that. I'm not gonna listen. 4-hour work week doesn't make. I mean, come on. I do that. 4 hours is come on. It's like doesn't make sense. But I understand why he wrote that book. I haven't read the book, but Ivan, one of my boys, he read the book and he was talking and he actually started to talk about it back in 2019. But the reason why he made the book is because he's trying to say if you lock in. Now I don't believe that amount of time. If you lock in for a certain amount of time during the day, you could actually get a lot done. If you're working all day and you're working on your goals and your dreams and your concentrated effort. Here's another thing about life is don't work on your priorities first. The important things, right? The important things that you have to do today, write them down. Now, a lady called Laura Lau, she made a post yesterday that was so powerful. She said, when you have a task to do, you either delegate it, delete it, or what's the other one? Forgot the other point. Delegate, delete. Yeah, she said delegating, automating, or deleting. She said if you have a goal, and Laura Laus is a multi-millionaire coach, mentor. She works with Myron Golden, who's the #1 sales coach in the world. And she basically does like coaching for women. She has her own business. She drives a Bentley, Rolls Royce. She got a big mansion in Essex. She says that you can either automate, delegate, or delete, right? Your tasks. So you have a task, and that's why it's important to have a team. You can't do everything by yourself. I look at every great person that has lived in this world. They have a great team. They have an entourage. When they walk into a room, they have their team with them. Right? I'm starting this community called the Wolf Pack, right? And this Wolf Pack is basically a men's community that I'm building right now. And it's basically where I'm like, okay, as I'm building the Wolf Pack, we're pulling up certain places. We're pulling up here. We're pulling up there. We're going as a unit. Every person has a tribe. So you delegate some things and then you automate, or if Jermaine said defer, right? Some things. You put things on automation, ads, programs, portals, websites. You automate certain things and then you delete some things. Are some things important for you to do right now, or are they things that you could do later, right? So making the priorities are very, very important. And putting that in motion is a great, great, great thing. And yeah, guys, I think we've gone through a lot of things today. I really pray that you have took some value from this. I would just say this, right? Set your goals for 2026 today. Write down at least 50 goals that you are going to accomplish in 2026. Have that complete desire that you are going to do this, because I'm telling you, God wants you to win. God wants you to have success. God wants you to thrive. He wants you to win. He wants you to be a winner. He wants you to be an absolute champion in life. Because the more successful you become, the more you can glorify him, and the more that people can come to him because you are a winner. Does that make sense? So I really pray that you have an incredible day. You have an incredible rest of the week. We are literally heading into a very powerful time where you should be setting your intentions for 2026 and really making a decision that it's time to win. It's time to thrive. It's time to be an absolute champion, guys. So God bless every single one of you. We're going to do the affirmations now. We're going to go ahead and do the affirmations and share these incredible words with each other, and we're going to uplift each other with these affirmations. I need 3 volunteers. Just put a 1 in the chat if you can read the affirmations, and I would love to have you up to share and to actually read out these affirmations with us, and we'd love to have your participation in this so we could actually go ahead with these affirmations. All right, so I'm going to start now. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to read any of the affirmations. I need three people. So Shalina, fantastic. I need 2 more. Shalina, you know what? You can actually read this one.
Hey, greetings.
Good morning, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. Give thanks.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. All the way from Birmingham, huh?
Yes.
One of my favorite cities in the world.
So what would you like me to read?
So
What?
on the screen, can you see the affirmations here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, go ahead and read them up.
Okay, so I am wealthy and rich. I live in plenty. I swim in plenty. Everyone take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth so we can actually digest these. I have abundance. Everything I touch increases in value. I know the secrets of riches and wealth. I attract money daily. Shall I stop there?
Continue. You can read the whole book if you want.
Oh, okay. Money pursues me. I am a cheerful giver. I am effortlessly wealthy and rich. My gift daily produces for me. I am daily in the company of like minded, wealthy, and powerful people. I have adopted God's financial plan for my life. I follow and fulfill it daily. I have and use all the resources I need to prosper myself and others. I make more money than I spend. Whoop, whoop. I like that one. I know exactly what I need to do and give in return for the exact amount of money I desire. I am a cash multi-millionaire. I am a cash multi-millionaire. I am so happy and grateful now that I have turned my annual income into my monthly income into my weekly income, and my weekly income into my daily income. I have people that have just come into my thing, so if you can finish reading the rest.
No problem at all. Thank you so much. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities. The money is growing, the quantity is growing from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I see the money flowing to me. I see the money flowing to me now in increasing quantities. I see the money flowing into my bank account from multiple sources, multiple businesses, multiple investments, and multiple customers. The money is flowing continuously. The money is flowing continuously. The money is like a river flowing into my bank account on a continuous basis. The money is like a river flowing into my bank account on a continuous basis. I, Derrick Alexander, am like a tree planted by the rivers of water. I bring forth my fruits in and out of season. My leaves shall never wither, and whatsoever I do, I prosper. Fantastic. Anyone else want to read these affirmations? Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat, guys, if you want to read it. I've got 3 more pages to read, so if you want to go ahead and read, don't be shy, don't be shy, don't be shy. I know you're not shy, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. If I was to say to you guys, I have a free, I have $100, I have $1,000 for those who want to read the affirmations, I'm sure every single one of you will say one. All right, put a 1 in the chat, guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to read the affirmations. Okay, I'm gonna read this one. Let's see if anyone else wants to read it with me. I am a money maker. I am successful. I am attractive. I am confident. I am limitless. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am bold. I am perfect. I am strong. I am blessed. I am grateful. I am a great leader. I am an iconic leader. I am determined, dynamic, persistent, ambitious and faithful, a beautiful, sophisticated professional, called to be a loving, world-renowned motivator. My name is Derrick Alexander. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am humble. I am a winner. I lead and not follow. I create and not destroy. I will never be broke a day in my life. I will live the fullest of life in all God has for me. I am a force for God. I am a force for good. I am a champion. I set new standards. I defy the odds. I break generational curses. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. I am loved by God. I, Derrick Alexander, am chosen by God. I am protected by God. I am in a constant state of attracting all the good that I deserve and I desire. No weapon formed or fashioned against I, Derrick Alexander, and my family shall prosper. Every tongue that rises up against me in judgment, I condemn. It is my season, it is my season, it is my turn, it is my turn. Let's go, let's go. Well, as you guys are all shy, I'm going to go ahead and read the next one. No problem at all. I love it, guys. You do not have to tell me twice. I love these affirmations because this is what has formed my mind over these past 10 years. And it works every single time. I am an excellent trader. I am a stable trader. I am a wise trader. I am a great technical and fundamental analyst. I am a disciplined trader. I am a patient trader. I see the right opportunities to trade the market. I know when to enter the market. I am not a greedy trader. I am a good follower as well as a good leader. I am better every day in trading. I make profit daily. I am a skilled trader. I am a profitable trader. I am a wealthy trader. I am a getter of winning pips. I am a giver of winning pips. I grow my accounts daily. I attract money to myself. I carry the right mindset because this is what it takes to be a successful trader. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, let's see here. All right, Mr. Smith, you're gonna go ahead and do the self-confidence formula.
One and all, what's going on? I've got to do this one real quick because I'm on another call as well, man. But I ain't letting you handle this by yourself, bro. We're sharing the weight out here.
Come on, brother, come on, brother. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, here it is, bro. Take it away, brother. Take it away. Can you see it?
Yeah, lovely. Okay. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, greetings. Self-confidence formula. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. I fully realize that no wealthful position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and my actions so that I can become a self-reliant and successful person. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Have a phenomenal week. God bless you all. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Me and Mr. Smith are going to be going in tomorrow again on the trading call. Be on that call, guys. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. That call will be at that call will actually be at 7. That call will be at 7 p.m. UK time for this week. So that will be a time change for 7 p.m. Just be mindful of that. And of course, we are going to be rocking and rolling. If you need me, if you need myself, my wife, any of us, just give us a call. We're here to support you guys and help you go to the highest level in this industry and beyond, guys. So God bless every single one of you. And I'll see you guys in the group chats. And most importantly, I'll see you at the beaches and the banks. Have an incredible day. God bless you all. And may your goals be accomplished today and beyond. Have a great day.
By the way, before we go, I'm about to make a huge announcement in the group chat. So guys, everybody go to the group chat now. I'm about to make a huge announcement and you're really gonna love this.
Everybody come out. Oh! Go to the group chat, guys, with big announcement. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.